Gang. Y'all ready?
Ready to play. What can I say?
Hey, man.
I ain't gonna get the verses though.
We ready?
Word.
All right. Well, this is episode 2 of a One Way Street podcast. I'm here with my homies, my friends. Y'all introduce yourselves, man.
You go first.
Hey, hey, it's your man Tyler back again. You know, we about to get into some good topics, and hope everyone is doing good, ready for a good show.
It's the good brother Marcus. You know what I mean? I'm a little congested today. It's allergies been trying to pummel me, but you know we're good.
You got that shit, man.
I mean,
You got that shit, man.
Man, we coming with something today.
Oh, most definitely. So, I'm your host, Lenny One. We here with Paradox Visions, my man Kaz. And we about to get into it. You know what I mean? You know we coming with the big takes, the hot takes, new looks on manhood, new looks on how humans should work together for better relationships, for more love, more compassion, more real relations, you know?
yes, sir.
We are natural beings, and I feel like we like to escape that due to society, due to what we see, due to celebrities pushing different agendas. But we here to bring us back together, so we do understand that we're supposed to coexist, and this harsh relationship between men and women, it can't be so harsh, you know. We gotta combine families again, you know. We gotta make America great again.
Oh, most definitely. There's a lot of tension between men and women right now, especially
Too much
black. I would
tension.
say black women and black men. It's a big issue right now.
Mhm.
I've seen it a lot. I've seen a lot of people commenting on it
Yep.
and expressing that. One narrative I've seen though is that black men have disowned black women
Mm.
and aren't willing to stick up for them anymore. So black women almost have this idea, or I wouldn't even say idea, this mindset where it's, you know, we don't care about black men that much. I've even seen women commenting like, police should be shooting black men. And when I seen that, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, how far have we come?
Y'all been
Wow.
saying that? Y'all black women been saying that? No. I feel like that relationship, I don't want to speak on it as if it is true, like it is a broken relationship, because I do see a lot of it on social media, and I try not to believe everything I see on social media. But I do know from black women I came in contact with that there is some type of conflict. But I do understand from knowing our history in America that the government played a role in that. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
The higher powers played a role in that. You
Oh,
know,
most definitely.
just removing black men from the homes in the 60s. So I do understand that the idea of a black man is up in the air. It's left to media, it's left to hip hop, it's left to Jay-Z to decide. You know what I mean? It's left to the most popular black man to decide in a social media aspect, and not what they actually see. Because the tone, like the bar is set real high in some black women's eyes, because they just see the money part of it. Like what makes a black man? You gotta provide. You gotta be. But knowing what we know is that all black men in this room, we know that it took a little bit more. You know, it took a little bit more than money to become high value. You know, it took a little bit more than aggression to become
Hyper aggression.
Yeah, some black men that women want. But I feel like it's all from training. Generation to generation, single mother from single mother,
Yeah, most definitely.
auntie in the house, and she, you know, it's like black woman. It's a lot of identity crisis in the black community as a whole. We don't know right from wrong, and sometimes the majority looks at the wrong thing. And the right people, if people are looking at the right thing, they're just not the majority. So that's not what the majority will want. It's just it's like we're trying to throw them off. But I want to come back to that though. I want to get into a question. I want to ask you a question.
What's up?
I want y'all to go one by one.
Okay.
Who are you? Because you're a black man, but I feel like the definition is very important.
So
Okay.
our definition of a black man.
Nah, definition of you. Like, who are you? What is your purpose? What is your calling? And what makes you different from another black man? You know what I mean? Or what makes you similar?
Okay.
Tyler, you first.
Yeah, because I'm always first with these type of things.
Yes, sir.
So who am I? Yeah. Well, first I would say I'm a black man. That's first and foremost.
Mhm.
I'm a black man in America. I would say I'm a man that stands very close to his morals and his values. Those being, fairness, respectfulness, and I would honestly say being in a position where caring for others and seeing what you can do for others is like a number one priority for me.
Mhm.
Like when I wake up every day, I'm in a place right now where I'm not necessarily doing what I think I might want to be doing, but I have a decent idea of what it is I want to do,
Mhm.
and that's helping people. And I know there are a lot of different lanes to do that, but I myself, when I wake up in the morning, that's kind of one of the only things I could think about is like, how can I help? Who can I help? I don't have much desires for anything else outside of that.
Mhm.
So even when I think about myself, I'm just like, damn, I just see myself as a helper in every aspect of it, as far as whether it be like physical, you scrape yourself, I'm helping you, bandage yourself up, or I'm talking to you, helping you get through something. I notice when I meet a lot of people, they're very quick to open up to me.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that as I've gone on through life, like no matter who I talk to, it's never too many words before, they feel comfortable enough to open up to me. So I see that as a bit of a strength for myself. If I could get someone to open up to help me understand
Mhm.
where they are, that's the start of solving problems,
That's
understanding someone else. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, that's who I am. I would honestly say I'm a helper. That's it.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
even know how else to really put it, but that's it right there.
So let me ask you a question, Tyler.
Yeah.
Do you think a black woman, not all, but a high majority, since we come from fatherless homes a lot of the time, or a home where a father is not the best.
Mhm.
So in a situation where we run into something like that, do you think it will be foreign to a woman, a black woman, and to be specific, do you think it would be foreign for her to run into an individual like you, a helper, a black man that wants to provide, because what she's used to, it's not that. You know what I mean? Do you think if she would have grew up to see a helper in the home, a provider, a person who actually is caring, do you think she'll be more accustomed to go to that than see something like you that could be better than what she actually grew up with for 20
I
something
get where
years?
you're going. And the answer is no. I don't think a black woman out there is going to find many men like myself. Just from even being out in the world and just seeing where most people's minds are, it's not with helping the next person. It's more of a me. What
True.
can I get out of the day?
True.
What do I want out of the day? So when I think about a black woman going out into the world, her finding someone like me, I don't think the odds of that is going to be high, unfortunately.
Do you think she's looking for someone like you?
And do I think she's looking for somebody like me? Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there are women out there who may be, but as far as if we're speaking in the majority, unfortunately not. I mean, we could say that honestly.
Yes, sir. Because I feel like charisma looks different. You know what I
Almost
mean?
definitely.
Like, you're confident, but some women want a little bit more rugged, a little bit more. You might should have been.
Sluggish,
You might need a little bit more tattoos. You might need
A different look. it's something to look a little bit more appealing to the eye.
Well,
But then even that,
well, not even that.
I,
I would say more just aggressive. I feel like I said, a lot of women been through a lot of things. So some women might have to be self-aware to think about what they're actually looking for, because some women really do want a more aggressive man. Not always a man, sometimes a boy, but could be just more aggressive because in their eyes that is charismatic. That could be confidence. That boy that is willing to punch any dude in the face for looking at her. It's truly insecurity, but she doesn't see that. She sees it as so my man, that's a man, because she doesn't see something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of it is people are just not, they don't know what they really need. They know what they see and think that they will want, but they don't know what they really would need. You know? That's what I'm starting to realize.
yeah, I mean, that goes back to I think what we talked about last podcast was people taking a good look at themselves and understanding where they're at in life and what they're going through and who they are and how they even handle, how they handle problems and decisions and just dealing with people. Some people, they'll go out into a store and like say extra 6 minutes in a line, they set their whole day off. I had a woman tell me one time, like, yo, like being in this line, my day was going good. And I had to sit there and think, I'm like, damn, like, if like this line fucked your day, were you even having a good day?
You feel me?
So then there's a lot of things in life that affect people.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people just don't know how to properly deal with it. So then they find these things, or you run into a scenario or even a substance that puts you in a place where you think you're doing better, but you're really not. You're kind of just like not really facing your own issue, dealing with your issue, confronting your issue, trying to fix it. So you're kind of just running from it, and you're using this as a way to get away from it. And that's where sometimes women end up finding men that aren't good for them.
Yeah, it is.
So I can't handle this over here, so I need a strong man.
Yeah.
You feel me? In whatever form that comes. He may not be mentally stable. He may not even have a job, but he admits that type of strength, that energy. So but that goes back to that nature.
True.
Like, us being more connected to nature, and you'll see it even in modern day. Like, we may not be as connected to nature as we should be, but there are connections still there.
True.
So you may find a man who doesn't have a job, hasn't had one in a long time, rarely has any money, spends his day, bullshitting, but he's very aggressive, super confident. And you would think all those other factors should put him in a mindset where he isn't confident, but he may be 6'6". So then that nature aspect has now taken over, and it's no longer these constructs that we've set up as people. Because sometimes there's nature, and then there's the constructs that we've set up, and sometimes we allow the constructs to control who we are and what we do and how we do it. And then there's the nature side, who you kind of really are, how you really came into this world. And that's, I would say, more of what you should be leaning on, and that could help you make a better way in the social constructs, in the constructs that have been set up, going to work every day, dealing with a woman in a particular setting, things like that. So, it's a lot of different ways to look at it. But in the end, it really comes down to just really looking at yourself in the mirror and asking yourself that question you asked us: who are you? Exactly. And then in answering that, you not only get the answer to that question, but you can start to see the problems. When you think about who you are, you start to really think about the things you do on a day-to-day, the decisions you make. A lot of times, we don't think about decisions. We just start deciding because we get 100 decisions. We could just run through them all instead of like, all right, let me sit back. What decisions did I make yesterday? And how did that affect me today to now get to this point where I'm making a new one?
Just discernment.
You
got to pick and choose what is right for you and what is wrong for you.
But what I don't want to do is get into all of this and step over Marcus. We still got to get Marcus to tell us who he is as a man.
You ready for that, Marcus?
And I'm interested.
So tell me, who are you, Marcus?
You know, it's funny because I used to run away from the reality of this, or try to gloss it over. But I'm really a student, and that goes beyond academia and like where if engage in higher conversation, higher education or not. But it's just simply about learning that anybody that you could bump into, you could learn from or gain something from them. Whether if it's articulated right, or it's a lesson. So I just try to treat people how I want to be treated. I don't try, I do. I don't really like to step on toes. If I do, I will, double back, apologize, see the error in my ways. But I also have this obsession with mortality, and not in like a negative sense, but as far as like I've always respected history and respected people who've either made decisions that were historical, and we remember them past them being alive. So I always had a fascination with writing, with poetry, with prose, with things like that. And my whole goal is, my purpose is, the bag is comfortable, like having, great financial stability in your life. I want to live the best life I can, but I want my life to be past my external, my physical. Like I want my work to live on longer than me, because there's some people who didn't get their flowers until after they were dead and gone, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, even though they didn't live to see it. But I just want. I feel like we could all learn something from one another, so I want to be able to be a lesson or a piece of paper or a page to somebody else that might inspire the next generation or 10 generations from now or so. So I think respect and just learning to not be a know-it-all is what made me me. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's deep. That's deep. Feel like that is very important, especially as a man. What we usually use the word ego when a man doesn't want to hear something, like nah, it just doesn't. But that, once again, is not a man. To become a man, you have to understand that you are not complete. You have a skill set that you are. This is your life. Your life is to build this skill set to be able to do anything. Like you go on in life meeting other men that could do something possibly better than you, and then you can adapt and you can grow that skill, and now you have two things that you could do. You meet another man. We're high value men, very fraternal people. You congregate with other high value men because you build things, you get things done. Now boys, on the other hand, you got gossip, you got hate, you got more envy, more a little bit more jealousy. And when you feel like you know everything, you feel like you got it all, you
Watch
feel,
your world shatter.
yeah, it's never gonna be complete. You're never gonna feel secure with anything that you obtain. You could have all the money in the world and still be just incomplete because you haven't stepped up to the plate as a man to be like, yo, I still am 300 pounds. I see millionaires that are overweight. Does that make any sense?
It means you don't want to live long with your money.
Yeah, clearly the money isn't
pretty
everything
much.
because
Yeah.
you don't even want to enjoy the money for longer, or enjoy it better.
Yeah.
It's like we as a society, we have grown to accept everything. And the sad part about it is everything is being accepted. Like it's like you have people on a lower scale where they are just overweight, and even if they want to change, they won't because the food is too good. Because Wendy's got the 4 for 4. Because of that. It's like, yo, we cannot control our desires even if we try. Like
Right.
this is the problem in this community, this society that we're in. We don't control our desires, and it starts from men. A boy doesn't become a man just from age. You have to grow into a man. You have to build those skill sets to have conversations, to be intellectual, to actually speak. You know what I mean? To communicate. If not, you're just an aggressive little boy. Like, nah, 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 nah. Like you just, it's
you a
like,
5-year-old,
yeah,
30-year-old body.
like you'll never ever be on a level where you feel like you're parallel or you're on someone's level because you will always feel incomplete. You are insecure. I used to be insecure. So me, who am I? I'm Letty One Way, baby. The GOAT. I transformed from a king to a god.
He's
All my
speaking his
life,
truth.
all my life, we have battled with desires, battled with the idea that I can't, like, I don't want control. Like, I do see a life where the grass is greener. I'm like all fit. I got abs. Any girl that I want. But I like food. I like eating.
Mhm.
So what? I'm a bigger person. That's more power to me. I feel more like a man because I'm bigger. I'm the biggest in the room. False masculinity. It was awful. You know what I mean? I carried that type of logic into my 20s. So there's no way I could have just grew into a man. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you just grow into a man. No, you can stay with certain logic and think that it makes sense as long as females are there to validate it. Money is there, so you feel like on a society level you're excelling. But in your mind, do you feel like it's working? Do you feel like, yo, I'm good? No, because, man, when I tell you, like, yo, Chris Brown popped up on the screen and I'm with a girl, I'm looking at her like, yo, she better not say something about this nigga. She said something about this nigga, I'm going to light it up.
She got to.
She got to. You don't know why? Because she's sitting next to you, but she see that on the screen, like, you're insecure. You might not be as confident as that dude on the screen. And it doesn't even matter. She doesn't even know how he thinks. He doesn't know if he's confident, but it's just the fact that you might show something or give off some type of energy where you don't got it. Not every man got it. You don't got it.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think that goes back to that point of just like social constructs and then nature.
Mhm.
In that moment, it's not even that she's looking at you and saying like, "Oh, you're not confident enough." It's that in that moment, she's leaving the social constructs that is the life that you two are living in that very moment.
True.
You know, sitting down, a fat man being accepted because he has a car,
Mhm.
he's got some food for the night,
But
he's got a little bit
nature-
of weed, but the nature is
It's
pulling her.
difficult.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, this animal over
Yeah,
here.
you can't fight nature.
There
And,
it
and
is.
that's what I had to realize. I was like, so back to who I was. I was bigger, and I also felt like, why am I not feeling there? Like, I'm not feeling like, yo, there, like 100% there,
All day.
like I feel now. I transformed. I had to. I knew that this was my biggest thing that I always wanted to do. My whole family struggles with it
Mhm.
over, and that's another thing. When you grow up in a household, you got to think if we're all growing up with single moms or even just parents in general, if those parents aren't growing up or being confident in themselves, if you grow up with a mom looking at herself like, oh, I could lose a few pounds, you might fuck around and look at yourself like, I don't feel comfortable either. Like, it's
Exactly. I
like
want to
it-
change.
all energy is very contagious, So whatever you do, if you don't feel good about yourself, you can't make people feel good about themselves.
Oh, of course.
Parents being confident is very important. It's a very necessary thing before you even have a kid. That's why if a 16-year-old girl is about to have a kid, yo,
Unless she has some ace parents,
unless
it ain't gonna work.
you have to bring this kid up with tremendous amounts of confidence. This kid has to feel like they are the world.
Mhm.
That's going to require two parents. That's going to require two very confident parents that are capable of saying, my kid is amazing, and they feel amazing too. But that's not common. So I had to transform my life. I wanted more, so I started the weight loss journey because I wanted more. I wanted more life. I wanted to see more things.
What was like the moment that it really hits you, like an epiphany?
Woo! Y'all really want to get into this?
We could hold off. I don't know.
Man, we're gonna get into it.
All right.
So boom. Let's keep it a bean. I was chilling, right? I was chilling. And I was just thinking to myself, like, yo, when you go do this, right? When you go do this, I got real blasted that day. I was real blasted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, man, I got to do some research. I was researching Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi put me onto the greatness. He told me, you as a human, if you're going to transform your body, you first got to transform your mind. And my mental was clouded. I was like, I felt like I was mentally sick. Very very just tense. Very tense. And I started a water fast. So as soon as I started the water fast, because I felt like I had an unhealthy relationship with food. And if you can't control your desires of food,
Anything.
you can't control anything. It would literally it would help you understand your relationships with women. It'll help you understand your relationships with anything. And how you always want control
Oh, of course.
because
Yeah.
you can't control other aspects of your life.
Oh, that's
So the water fast was the most spiritual thing I ever did. It was just the realest, like just a real situation. Very in touch with myself. I became very confident in who I was and what I could bring to the table. It was like, yo, if you look at social media all day, you could be convinced that you don't exist. You could convince yourself that you don't have impact, but that's
Because you're looking at hundreds of other thousands of people
and
with
it's-
their opinions.
and it's so far
Whatever
from the
those are.
truth.
Yeah.
It's so far from the truth. Like, you are the biggest thing that ever happened, if you think about it. Like,
Oh yeah.
so many things could have happened and transpired in your life, and you weren't supposed to make it. But you made it all the way to here. So to believe that you could look at your phone for 10 minutes and then all that goes away, and you're just like, oh, so and so just got married off. Like, it's just like you just forgot about you. Like, you can't keep forgetting about your power. So I told myself, if I could change my life, I'm good. Like, if I could do this one thing, oh my gosh, we'll be good. Like, everything will get figured out. I just told myself I wanted a better life.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept telling myself I want a better life. I want to live better. I want to be able to really get in there.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I want to be able to really get in there. I want to be able to dominate. Man, not saying when you big you can't dominate, but trust, man, if you out there, bro, and you over 260, you ain't gonna dominate your best. You're still not your best self. If you're overweight and you're in a relationship, sir, why are you not giving your girl the best you? That's a problem. It does go the other way also. Ladies, I don't know if y'all ready for that. But I'm going to get into it because I got on a tight shirt right now. So I'm going to really tell you right now because I'm flexing on you
You
right
might
now.
need to hear it.
Ladies, admire your beauty. Your beauty is what makes you, you know? You beautify it. You set the standard for humanity. like ladies play such a role in setting the standard and what a man could get if he were to get on his fucking grind. If he were to make a change and make an impact, he might have the ability to possibly get this woman.
Mm-hmm.
He could reach this. He could reach this if he were to become a high value man. But when that is very attainable, and you make yourself to be very attainable, or he feels like he's more in shape than you, then I could see why like you don't feel on his level. I could see why you feel like he thinks he's better than you. You know what I mean? So confidence is very necessary, and it's very it's very necessary that you feel comfortable in you, like in your body. You have to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
To make people feel you so much more when you feel yourself.
Oh man,
Anybody.
Do you feel me right now? Because I feel me right now.
And I think we should get into what instills that type of confidence. Because even when I think about it with myself, my confidence, I could honestly say, stems from completion. When I complete something, a task, that's like me building the blocks of confidence. Because then when you doing something else, you thinking back to that last thing, like, all right, I just did that. I could do this. So what I would say to anybody out there struggling with confidence, find a hobby, find something that could benefit you outside of, you just doing it, and complete it. Start completing things. Start checking things off, whatever they might be. If you want to clean your room today, complete cleaning your room.
He's not talking about casual sex.
And then you can move on to the next thing. And yeah, I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about taking a girl out.
Make your bed in the morning.
Yeah. I'm talking about completing actual tasks, getting things under your belt, because it applies across the board. If you in school, what's being in school? Completing a certain number of tasks, getting good grades, and at a selected date, time, you get a degree, you get a diploma, because you built up enough completion. So if you're really struggling with confidence, going out there, talking to women, whatever, start completing more things. Start getting things done. You're not going to get anywhere if you can't get anything done.
I can tell you.
And start small. You don't got to go out there and go run 5 miles around your block. Man, go for a walk. Complete a walk for a day. Complete 3 walks in a week and see where you're at.
You better run. If you're overweight, you better run. High intensity training. You need that. I'd speak about weight loss, and it may sound harsh, but trust me, once you do that change, or you make that change, you'll feel better than you ever been or you ever felt. A lot of people around you may enable you. Ladies, if you're overweight right now, that man could be keeping you overweight and not telling you because he wants you to stay there until you're out the game. You know what I mean? Until you're not in the market anymore. Don't let him do that to you. He's a beta. Men, if that lady is not telling you you're overweight, it's because she needs you to stay around. You know what I mean? She needs you to not be your best self, and that's not love. No, you need to make sure that you are your best self. You are your most active self, so you can run with your kids. Why do we have overweight parents? That leads to overweight kids. Y'all not running together. I would love to see families running down the street together.
Just bonding over meals.
Why are we not paying attention to fitness when coronavirus and things like this happens? And that's all it comes back down to. Who's healthy and who's not. If you have underlying conditions, you better stay in the house. Now you can't enjoy life because of the mental or physical health you put yourself in. Don't do it to yourself. Come to One Way Fitness. I'm gonna get you right. Chris Brown don't got nothing on me.
Y'all gonna have a dance battle?
I got this confidence up. Now I feel like, yeah, Chris Brown might have money, but I'm me.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Do you see the GOAT? I transformed from a goat into a lion. Am I lying?
Yo,
Yo.
You gotta love yourself.
Hey man, you gotta love yourself.
That's one of the first steps.
I found that when I was more overweight, I hated more. It's easy to hate more, and
Yeah,
they
of course.
give you that. You know what I mean? On social media, if they figured most of America is very insecure, they'll give you something to hate, and you're paying a system and you don't even know it. They'll give you a 6'9", just so you can comment, "Yo, what a snitch!" But you're fat. You're at home. You're at home fat. Why? And so it's like they will make sure you don't look at yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you were to acknowledge your power, that might be a problem.
It is a strength.
That might be a problem if every man was out here being a real man and on his purpose and being ambitious, traveling the world and making millions. That would be a problem. It would be a problem if every woman was super confident, super secure, and didn't need to do anything for attention because she knew she attracted attention. She just knew it. That would be a problem. Now it's like,
It sounds like a utopian society.
honestly, utopia is all in your mind. Like everything started becoming perfect once I seen it as perfect.
Yeah.
Everything went right once I thought it was going right. You could watch your thoughts. Like you could really
True.
sit there and think.
You could think yourself into being mad,
You
sad,
could think yourself
amazing.
out of anything. You know what I mean? We manipulate our minds so much that we never give ourselves time to just chill.
It's focused though.
Yeah.
A lot of people it's too much variety. You know?
True.
You ain't and the access to it. Like Jesus, the amount of access you have to a variety of things as far as your phone, a
Mhm.
laptop, even a television. Like we talked about it last week, just like too many channels. You'll never find anything to watch. Like
True.
you'll never be able to sit down and focus on something long enough to see if, is that something I can stay with?
Mhm.
Would I ever like this? And that's the big issue. One thing I would definitely recommend to people is lower the amount of exposure you put yourself in as far as variety is concerned. Don't be on your phone all day. Pick, say, 10 times out of the week where you're going to be on your phone, say, 30, 45 minutes, and leave it at that. Your phone doesn't have to be something that you keep running back to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you'll probably open up somebody's phone, and Instagram is like literally either tab 1 or tab 2.
Mhm.
Like, you got to get off Instagram. There's nothing on Instagram for you if you're not running a business or
Mhm.
looking for someone who's doing something.
Yeah. Ask yourself.
Then
is
you
this
just
helping
browsing.
me?
Like
Yeah.
imagine going to a clothing store and browsing the same clothing store every single day. That's what you're doing on Instagram every day, browsing, waking up to browse.
What's
Like,
new?
Yeah.
Yep. So check your diet. Just always watch what you consume. It's a lot of toxic things out there that you can consume, and that is a part of the agenda. That's how it's supposed to go. You know what I
Most
mean?
definitely.
If people are always focused on everyone else and everything else going on in the world, Cardi B is getting a divorce. If everybody's focused on everything else, then you're never gonna focus on yourself to get that woman that you always wanted, or ladies, that man that you always wanted, because you're not improving yourself to get there. You think people are just gonna accept you for who you are, and that is never the case. It just never is the case. If you were perfect, then you would have had a perfect scenario already. So it's like no one's perfect, and perfect is something you can get to because it's an idea. It's an idea that I'm working on myself every day, and I feel complete. I feel good. I don't think I'm gonna lose this chick to Chris Brown. Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
And it's one thing I would say it's important not to get caught up in the trend, because whether we want to admit it or not, exercise, fitness, veganism, it's very trendy right now. And although it's a trend, there was a certain point in time where all of those things were very taboo. But what I want people to understand is, as much of a trend as it is right now, understand all these things are very essential. This isn't something you should be, pretending to do just so you could throw it on Instagram for a week or throw it on Facebook or something like
Driving
that.
to the gym every day just to take a
Hey,
picture.
we're not
For
gonna
real.
call it a trend. We need the trend of unhealthiness to stop. We need the trend of telling people, yo, you big bone. Nah, you not.
I
See,
hate
that's
hearing
not-
that.
see,
Like,
the
don't
trend
lie
of
to me, I'm
unhealthy-
fat. Like, don't do
The
that.
trend of unhealthiness, I would say, is a real actual trend.
That's a
The
trend.
trendiness of, say, like fitness, skinny jeans, those are just like fads people feel like they may want to get into because they've seen someone else do it. And not to say you can't learn from somebody,
Yeah.
but if you're not taking in an entire thing, if you're not taking in an entire concept, an entire idea,
Yeah.
and then not only understanding it, learning it, but then being able to teach it to somebody else and then giving credit to where you got it from,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going down that new age generation idea of a trend, hopping on it because everybody else is doing it, and not even necessarily probably even doing it, maybe even pretending to do it. I mean, I've seen situations where someone may claim that they're a vegetarian or vegan and actually like eats like chicken,
True.
and then it's like,
True.
why post vegan vegetarian dishes to make
For
yourself
attention. For
yeah.
attention.
And
People
why
want
wouldn't
attention.
you actually want to adopt this new lifestyle? I don't know.
Good people want attention.
Yeah,
Adopting a look.
yeah.
The idea of fitness is to just be your best self. Even a woman who doesn't eat every day, that's not health. That's not healthy.
No, no,
You know what I
it's
mean?
not.
So it's like, or a woman who eats too much every day, or a man who eats too much every day, or eats too little every day. You want to find balance just to feel your best self, because mental and physical go hand in hand. We have a lot of mental. They say mental illness is at an all-time high. Physical illness is at an all-time high.
And that directly correlates.
People walking into establishments and smelling awful because they are just bigger. That shouldn't be common practice. That shouldn't be common practice. I shouldn't have to expect a whiff when you walk by just because you're a bigger individual. We have to do better. I only speak about it because I was there. You know what I mean? When you that big,
You can't smell bad.
you dealing with way more weight than a regular person. You know, you're dealing with way more cleaning than a regular person. And the idea of a man is to be well groomed. Idea of a female is to be well groomed also. So you want to make sure that you can clean efficiently. You want to make sure you can look great. You know, getting rashes because you're overweight is never fun. Not being able to do certain things because you're overweight is never fun. Being insecure because you're overweight is never fun. So just decide one day to just make that change. Make that day today. Today's message is stepping up to the plate. To just be your best self. It's baby steps. You won't just be a new person tomorrow. I didn't get all these muscles. I didn't get all these muscles and striations and feathered abs and all this good stuff from overnight. You know what I mean? But it took a lot of sacrifices. Lost many things. I feel like a lot of things were removed from my life. In my control and out of my control, but for the better every time. A
Definitely.
lot of people came back into my life or tried.
Talk about it.
Hey, once you lose that weight, that's another thing that's going to come after your transformation. A lot of people are going to come back into your life. Ladies, you're going to lose that weight, your ex going to hit you up. Don't even respond. Fellas, you're going to lose that weight, your ex going to hit you up. You can't even respond. You got to be better than that. You got to let them know you didn't even accept me when I was like that. So why you want me now? Because I'm of higher value now?
Because I did the work.
Because more people want me now? Because I'm disciplined now? Leave me alone.
But that's also a big thing with men too. A lot of men aren't high value and get in situations where they got a girl that's cheating on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they wonder why. It's a big question for them. And then they get in the gym for a couple months, get a little bit more money under them, and they get a little bit more attention from women. Probably even a girl that was doing them dirty.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I'd necessarily say don't hit them back. You may be in a better place now. And
Don't hit
that
'em
person,
Don't hit him back. You wanna know why?
no,
You
no,
don't
no,
do that
no, no,
in
no,
spite,
hold
don't
on.
do it.
Let
You
me
don't go
let
back.
me let me backtrack a little bit. A lot of times, a lot of men aren't honest with themselves. So what women do is a lot of times a woman won't tell you directly what she means or what she's trying to say, but she'll give you hints. And a lot of times men miss hints. Or a woman now
Yeah.
will come out and directly say something and the man won't take it for real. He won't take it as truth. I mean, I've been in a scenario before where a woman told me about my flaws, and I was looking at her in a way of like, how dare you?
Mhm.
Not understanding that if I took, say, 60 seconds, 30 seconds to even look at decisions that I've made, where I sat in that car that day, those things she was saying was true. And there was room for growth. And sometimes people meet that type of criticism with resistance instead of acceptance or understanding. Or, further explain what you mean. You feel me? So not all the time will I say, if you get to a place in your life where you're better than you were before and an old flame hits you back up. I think it all depends on how they hit you up.
No.
Nah,
No, you don't
we
know
may
why.
have to agree to
No,
disagree
I-
again.
You don't backtrack. You don't jump into an old pool. You know what I mean? So
then, would you say there's no room for that person that was with you to grow? Could they not be a different person? Could y'all not be starting something new?
not at all.
If you left, no.
Because it's already that old. Oh, I wasn't good enough here. So if it
But there's
was,
even that with yourself.
it doesn't-
As you continue your own personal journey, you still have the history of who you once were. You feel
But
me?
it's very personal. That's very personal. But the idea of
But a relationship with somebody is very personal.
I mean, no, that's true. That's very true. However, we're talking about the idea of when they left. If you're leaving somebody, you're giving up that idea of there could be a future. You don't leave open that, oh, but I could always jump back. I could always hit her up later.
See, but then I think you're looking at that in kind of a weird light too.
That's how we work. Let's be real. If you hit up your ex right now,
Yeah.
that's because you feel like you can still go back and get her. That's how we work. We work like that. If we feel like we can still go back and do it, we'll go for a break. Yeah, we'll do this.
Well,
break.
hold on. If you left,
That's disrespectful.
became a better version of yourself,
Mhm.
and then came back to that person and was like, let's run this back. I don't feel like that's an issue.
You're still feeling like they're going to be available because they don't have the options. You know what I mean?
Well,
They're still expecting their options to remain the same as if they're not growing as well.
Well, okay. Well, then,
If that woman is still growing, once you say, all right, this is done, she's going to go find a better man than you. She can upgrade. You think, you know what I mean?
okay.
Subconsciously, she can't upgrade. She can't do better than you. So you can dip, but she's not going to dip too. She'll still be around. And even if she did find another man, you can still pop back in and be like, yo, I'm better than that. Yo, look at him. Stop. So it's like, yo, we run off hierarchy. This hierarchy is real. Humans are not all equal. We're not all equal. This is still nature. Society likes you to think that we're all equal, but we're not all equal. That's the same reason why someone can cheat on you with someone who makes less money than you, or you know what I mean? Because charisma, confidence, connection, energy, vibe, all that stuff matters and stuff. So it's like, once you give up on a person and you leave them, it does depend how you left, but it also says, I'm not willing to stick with you through this rough issue. Like, I can leave this connection with you and go to someone else. Like, just the fact that that's open.
See, but I feel like we're not acknowledging that a lot of people are put in situations where
we're talking about overweight people, right? We're talking about still, if you're overweight, and she could cheat on you because you're overweight.
Okay, well, if she's
burn
talking to
that
you
bridge.
about your weight issues and you've kind of somewhat neglected that,
If she leaves you, yes.
based
but
on,
not
but if
cheat
she,
on you.
but if
No, she should leave you.
Yeah,
And-
that's
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Don't
if she
promote that.
cheats and then tries to come back, then yeah, don't respond. Guys.
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
No,
in
yeah.
that scenario.
value
There's
yourself.
never
But if
a
she
reason for
leaves,
cheating. Yeah.
if
No,
she
it's not.
leaves and
It's
comes
not.
back and you're a better person, entertain.
There's never a reason for cheating, especially on a man level. And men, I'm serious. If you got a woman at home and you still trying to like be out here, it's like, yo, you're honestly like my man's AMS, like you cock blocking you taking her
Wow,
off the
selfish.
street. Yeah, you taking her off the street and you still out here with everybody else. It's like, that's not cool. That's not fair. You're supposed to be building. You're supposed to be at home building.
Are you 10 toes down in this or not? Like, it's not no halfway step.
It's a very good question. So let's go on to the next point. All right. Let me ask y'all a question. Y'all ready?
Shoot.
What controls happiness? Like what do you need to make you feel happy?
You know what's funny? I feel like
$1 billion. I need $1 billion.
like you know, people say money could or cannot buy you happiness, right? I think tangibles can help short term, but everything that I love I can't touch. It's like my friendships with people, it's my relationships with my parents, it's just the things that make you feel good and you don't necessarily see them in front of you. Like that makes me happy. Like having like friendly or just, you know, better experiences with people that I don't even have to know, right? Like just paying that forward, that makes me feel better. Like if I'm stimulated, if I'm learning something, that makes me happy. But
Bro, you know we lost that. You know we lost all those intangibles. Like if you can't see it, it's not real. God, what about science? What about science?
We believe in
Evolution.
plenty of things that we can't prove.
We try to get away from that in this society though. Like anything you could see, you could just believe. Like, okay, I can see it. But the idea of God, it's just like, what if like some people I had a conversation with an atheist before. It's like, can you see God? Okay. I'm like, it's a lot of
That's
things you
stupid.
can't
Yo,
see.
you might have a job and get paid every week, but you believe that your check is going to come every Thursday. You don't have proof of that.
Mhm.
You don't look for proof of that. You just hear what somebody says and you take it for, you know, as
Love is
real.
not always visible. You know, things like that. Tyler, let me hear it from you, buddy. What controls happiness? Your happiness. You know, what do you need to, in the end, be like, yo, I did it. I was happy. I'm happy now.
What controls happiness? I mean, with each individual person, I mean, I can only say you yourself control your happiness. Whatever you deemed to be, whatever you deem to be a happy situation for you, a happy scenario, a happy action, that's what happiness is. And putting yourself in that situation, I wouldn't say constantly, but at a consistent rate, will help you kind of keep that happiness going. And then, you know, you control your happiness based on the decisions you make, really. I mean, if you make good decisions that put you in good scenarios, then you'll be happy. If you make bad decisions, you know, you'll be in scenarios where you're not happy. And looking at yourself and understanding who you are as a person. From there, you can kind of get an understanding of what may actually make you happy. I think a lot of times people don't know what makes them happy or even know what true happiness is.
Mm-hmm.
They only I think more people are familiar with instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So then that gets tied up with happiness. Because, you know, sometimes you wake up and you may feel a little down. You may need something to get you some instant gratification so that, you know, you're not down for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of looking at, okay, why do I feel this way?
Yeah.
And then attacking it from that angle. So, I mean, I could definitely sum it up to that. I mean, you control your own happiness. And, you know, you have to figure out what makes you happy. I mean, there are certain things I did as a child that still make me happy now, and I have to remember to do those things so that I can maintain a certain level of happiness.
100%.
Because even with growing, like, I think there's that mindset of, like, when you grow up, you got to stop doing certain things. You got to do this, and that, and that'll pull you away from that initial happiness. I mean, you are only ever happy your first times being happy were when you were a kid.
Hmm.
So you don't have too much to reflect back to. So remembering to do some of those things you did as a child when you were growing up, some of those pure things, because not everybody, but a good majority of people have a lot of pure things they did when they were younger that contributed to their happiness. Just as far as
Right.
going outside and kicking a ball around for an hour, find the joy in those things again.
That's important because a lot of us have things in our childhood that we did that we still do to this day that wasn't so pure, and we still could believe that it was a part of our happiness. You know what I mean? So we can continue to do it.
Mhm.
Like I see so many people could be in their 30s still doing things that I would consider to be like high school type shit, middle school type shit, and it wasn't so pure. It can't be for happiness because it looks different now. You know what I mean? So
You see through the veil.
yeah, just being for everybody and in your 30s and trying to be real mixy and not really network, but be just in everyone's business. It's real middle school, high school type shit. But for them, it's no, I'm having friends. It's like
It's my livelihood.
no, that's not real. You like that's not real. You know.
But I
So-
think a lot of that goes into just being misguided. As far as to go back to that example of you seeing a little post about Takashi 69 snitching. You may write a comment like, "Oh, he's a snitch, he's a bitch," and that kind of makes you feel a little bit better about yourself because you're not really addressing your issues.
True.
So not only instant gratification, but not acknowledging your own issues and
Mhm.
finding comfort in things that take you away from dealing with things that are important in your life. That some people look at that and be like, "Oh, I'm happy."
True.
You're not happy.
True.
You're just not figuring out yourself.
Exactly.
You got to kind of address your problems first before you could then be like, "All right,
True.
this makes me happy."
That's true.
Because sometimes you do certain things to cope with things that you're currently dealing with, things you currently haven't decided to run through and solve because you feel some type of uncomfortability in that scenario.
Yep.
That's another thing we got to get into: getting out of being uncomfortable or being comfortable with not dealing with the issue. You got to get to a point where you may have to sit in an uncomfortable situation to solve a problem for yourself,
True.
and that's okay too. So. Yeah, I mean, happiness is a big thing, but I feel like finding it is just as hard as trying to maintain it for some people.
I found happiness, like true happiness, like where the anxiety isn't as strong and you're not blaming yourself every day, like you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
the sighs happen less. True happiness happened when I found God. Like when I found God, I kind of all completed me. Some people might be like, "Yo, you Christian? Yo, you Islam? I knew you was God body." I am God body, but I'm not a Muslim or anything like that. I'm just spiritual. I think religion has been kind of weaponized to divide many groups of people who believe the same thing.
Oh,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? And I like the commonalities. I like just seeing where everybody's in common. Like everybody believes in God and higher powers, great. Everybody believes that we're all created in these images of these higher powers, great. So then that's the truth. Like that gotta be the truth. So I like the spirituality of it, and in my own journey of spirituality, I found that when you find your strongest points, like those things that you do where you're really good at them, and they make you better as a person, whether it be talking to people and helping them see certain things, and you see that light go off in their eyes, or whether it be lifting them weights and watching your body transform into something else. Those are the moments where I feel like you find God the most. So that's why when I was saying I transformed from a king into a God, it's because I found that within myself, the power to do greater things that I didn't see possible before. Like years prior, I didn't see it possible. I would have never thought that I could look like this. But something happened to where I found power within myself to do it. Because no one else could have did it for me.
Of course.
You know what I mean? If money was everything, then I would have just became a millionaire and things would have been good and I would have just been happy.
It ain't
But
like that though.
I feel like I'm so wealthy now
Yeah.
that like the money, okay, money's money, but yeah, I feel like really good though. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like feeling like anything's possible and feeling like, yo, that money's about to come. Like that feeling like everything is better within you and you're not hating no more. You don't feel like you feel like you could congratulate another man without being a deeper feeling of like
I can't give all this props.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, like feeling all of those feelings and wanting to help other people, like really to see them be better. Yo, I feel like I found God within myself. If we are all created in God's image, then yo, we're all gods. Like we're all gods
Right.
and goddesses. You could be this higher person, but you have to be like really working on yourself. But once you do, you could be the greatest thing that has ever happened. That's all you have to do. You know what I mean? But it all starts with you.
I feel like it comes back to that idea of just completing something, getting something done. Because a lot of times I see people, and even I've seen it in myself in recent years, like where like I'm not doing anything, or I'm not doing anything. I wouldn't say I'm not doing anything, but I'm not putting myself in scenarios where those actions are directly benefiting me
True.
in a way that I can see it, I can feel it. Because I feel like once you can see a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see something, is it real, is it not?
you
But
see
when you
so
can,
much potential.
yeah,
Yeah.
when you can actually feel it in yourself,
Yeah.
you know, it's different. It's a completely different
You
feeling
feel it.
because you feel limitless at that point.
Exactly.
I can complete anything. Finances aren't an issue because I can get from 0 to 100 because I can do the necessary things to get to a spot where I'm going to get that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel, oh, damn, I'm broke.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there were certain points in my life where, like, I didn't have any money. And I'm like, man, I'm broke as fuck. Like, and then I'm going from I'm broke to I'm a bum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, I can say I'm broke and then go from I'm broke to, hey, what's the next money move? Like, what are
Right.
we doing next? You feel me?
Exactly.
More of a positive step instead of,
Exactly.
like, sitting in the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And marinating on it.
Marinating
Thinking about,
in
how did I get to this negative? Why am I? Nah, just keep it moving.
I'm gonna be honest. We're very quick to label everything in the society. Where if a man is like at a low point like that, where he doesn't feel like he's stagnant, he feels like, oh, I'm not confident. I'm just not on shit. He could go to a therapist, and the therapist would be like, "Oh, you're depressed." Give him a whole bunch of meds that could possibly make that worse. Yet, in all reality, he could have low testosterone.
Oh yeah.
He could have bad friends around him who are telling him, "Yo, you fine," on a day-to-day basis for 365, and then the next 365, and then the next three. So he could be stuck in a stagnant place for many different reasons. His environment, his testosterone could be very low. He could have high body fat. He could be just real lost. But it takes time. Like I usually tell dudes who are on some real depressed stuff, like I'll be like, man, yo, if I look at them, if your body not right, you gotta get that right.
Oh yeah.
Once you get that step out the way, you'll be able to feel more confident. If a dude is not confident and he's like his body's fine, then yo, you might want to do some self-defense classes, you know, just to know that you could do something. As a man, you want to know that you could do something.
Yeah.
Like you want to know, I could do this.
Yeah.
Like that's natural. I could do this. I could complete this. I could complete this. Once you become a high value man, your levels of completion just raise. But you want to know that you could do something. So if there's things in your life that you want to do and you're not doing them, then that's exactly why you're depressed. Because you got these callings and these purposes, but you're not doing them.
Yeah,
You're too caught up in something else.
That could take you on a high in itself, you know, without the drugs, or just completing something that you really love and cherish.
True.
Yeah, for real.
True. That's
And
real.
it's crazy because I learned most of that I would say, like, from being in a position where I wasn't doing anything, and then there was a day where I woke up and I went somewhere and I did something. I exercised, I ran a little bit and I finished a run, and I was like, okay, like, you said you were gonna do that, then you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Check.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of
Put some
times
pep in your
when we
step.
say we gonna do some shit and then don't do it, and then
That's
you get
a
caught up
full
in that. Like,
accomplishment.
you can make a list of shit to do, but if you
Yeah.
ain't never checking that shit off, it's like that list is beating your ass because it's looking at
Mhm.
you, telling you ain't do shit, you looking at it knowing you ain't do shit. So you end up in a place where you end up doing nothing. Still
True.
reflecting on why you ain't do shit to begin with. So I can't emphasize on it more than I already have. Find something if you have nothing right now. And I'm not saying go find some girl, no. Go find something pure, something that can give you something back and attack that head on and complete it. And even if you do it one time, understand that that one time could lead to a second time, and then from 2 to 3, and then from 3 to 10. So then it's all about that building consistency, staying on, and completing.
All right. So I want to get into a real final point. I hope all y'all listening, men, if you are not on your purpose, if you're struggling with your purpose, the key is to control your desires. How do you do that? Control your eating. That might be real hard for you. All right, so then let's make it a little bit easier. We talking to the men, but honestly, women, if you're listening, you might need to do this too. Cut off that porn. No more pornography.
Oh, that's the devil.
We have become a very hypersexualized nation to the point where everything flies. Anything sexual can fly. Orgasms reign supreme. Yeah, we don't realize that sex is a natural process where it is for life. It is
Procreate.
everywhere else in nature. Sex is for procreation. We are the only beings that manipulate this natural action through contraception, through abortion. So understand that this perversion that you could even engage in, it can unlock a door in your mind that is not supposed to be there in the first place. So understand that it is an abnormal practice that can alter your mental. It can alter your dopamine levels. It can alter the way that you think and the way that you feel for accomplishment, for completion, for things like that. So I challenge all men, man, stop watching it for 30 days. Don't touch yourself. Let it go. Do something else in that time. Women, if you're watching it, don't do that for 30 days. And what you'll notice is your mind, you'll come back down to your regular senses. You'll become this less hypersexual being. You'll become more motivated to actually do things that are along your purpose. Not everything's about sex. Don't let the media or your phone convince you that everything's about sex. Life is much more about being a better you, to one day create a better you and create a better world for you to live in and for everyone you love to live in. No fap. No fap November is coming up. I hope y'all is engaged. I hope y'all ain't ruining yourself because you're lowering your testosterone at the end of the day, fellas. Testosterone is linked to a lot of different health benefits to where you need to make sure you're at the proper levels for brain health, protection of your heart, increased energy, improved love life. You could have ED just from watching too much porn, fellas.
Whoa.
You want proper blood flow. Don't do it to yourself. Don't destroy yourself.
For real. I think it's important to understand how this all breaks down too, because you mentioned it, but for anybody out there that's confused about it, think about it like this. The only way to have a kid is to have sex. So if you having sex on a regular basis without the understanding and the acceptance that you could produce a child, and if that's not even your end goal while partaking in sex, it's fucked up. Like, there's no point. Because think about it. You running through your day thinking about something that gets you a product, but the product, you don't even want the product. So then what's the point of even thinking about it all day?
It's
You almost
incomplete process.
You're wasting your time.
You're chasing an incomplete process. So please be cautious and wary of your energy. Men, when you let go of your life form, that is your life form. That is your seed. You actually have the power to bring a life into this world, and that is all based on your orgasm. Understand that you have a lot of power that you are leaving into a sock, leaving on your bed sheets. It's actually disgusting.
Really, it's energy.
It's
Yeah.
energy. Emphasis on energy.
Yeah, you're
Energy.
putting energy
Usually.
into nothing. Like you're not.
Nothing.
You're literally getting nothing back. So you're literally wasting energy on a daily basis. And that doesn't mean if you get into a relationship, y'all can't have sex. But I'm talking to the dudes out here who's waking up and that's the goal of the day. Can I get it here? Who I'm gonna talk to? Did she hit me back? And you not really, and you struggling to find your purpose. Leave that alone for a second and see if that helps you.
Get your mind.
There are a lot of ways to find your purpose going through this journey called life, but incorporating and putting your toes into hypersexuality, that's not going to help you get where you need to be, unfortunately.
Our message is to create better fathers, a better society, better mothers, just a better relationship between the two, so we can bring better kids into this world and have a better future for this world. And what that's going to require is for us to get back to some type of natural being, to understand who we are and understand our placement in this ecosystem to make things better. So that's all we got for today. This was episode 2. I had a great time, man.
Yeah, it's been good.
We killed it today,
Appreciate you.
fellas. This is a One Way Street podcast. I thank you all for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow all of us on Instagram. I'm at Lenny One Way.
I'm at MAWCUS Spoke.
I'm at Shake Johnson on IG, at T Little Lax 23 on Twitter.
Yes,
Any one of
sir.
those, just
Yeah.
hit me up, let me know.
And follow the pod on Instagram at A One Way Street. And we are out. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Yes,
That was
sir.
quick. That shit
That was way quicker than I thought.
Y'all are flowing.